Why do Palace always just give us drama? This is what they do, don't they? They like to. Why can't we just have a normal season? A normal season of nothing happening, like just like an 18th, 19th, just like a 16th position, mid-table sort of thing going on, and instead we have to have drama. It follows Palace around wherever, whatever we do. We can't just have a normal season of nothing happening. And now we're probably in a position where this is like the most peak Palace, I think, in my lifetime. Sacking a manager after 4 games, which, by the way, is a Premier League record. The previous record being Les Reed at Charlton, who lasted 6 games in 2006. So Frank has beaten that. He lasted more days, 77 days. I think Les Reed was like 30 days, but it was mid-season, so all the games were like packed in. Whereas Frank has only had 4 league games, 1 League Cup game, of course, which we did win. Which I think means that like James MacArthur might go down as like a quiz question in the future as the only Palace player to have scored while Frank de Boer was manager. But as it is, we're left with Palace breaking 2 records in the last 24 hours, which is the shortest ever managerial stint, 4 games, and the first club since Preston 94 years ago to go the first 4 games of the season losing them without scoring a goal. So in a way, we should almost be proud of the club for breaking these records, because we don't often get to do that. Unfortunately, they are 2 of the worst records that I think I've ever heard of. And here we are, managerless again, which I feel like I've almost become sort of used now to trying to work out who the new manager is going to be. I mean, unfortunately, not unfortunately, well, it depends what you think about it, but it sounds like it is going to be Roy Hodgson as the new Palace manager, of which Matt Jones here on this Facebook Live has said Hodgson is a very short-term solution if he's coming in. 70 is too old to be a new manager, and he hasn't been in the Premier League for over 5 years. Yeah, he's pretty old, I guess. 70 is quite old. My dad's 70. He turned 70 on the Swansea game a few weeks ago. He's pretty sprightly for 70, to be fair, my old man. I don't know if I'd make him Palace manager, mainly due to the lack of experience. Although he has been watching Palace for 61 years. So you could say he's the most experienced person out there. Also, I don't know if he wants the job or not. He hasn't mentioned it. In fact, he's semi-retired. So I'd imagine he's quite enjoying not doing working full-time at the moment, actually. But 70 years old for a manager. Frank is 47, I think, wasn't he? 46 or 47. The thing about Hodgson is, one, there aren't that many options at the moment for Palace out there, managerial-wise. Certainly people who don't have a club. Because we've seemed to have this kind of policy of only going for people that don't have a club. And that's more difficult mid-season, because people are not going to leave their clubs as readily as they would have done in the summer. So Palace have very much limited their options by getting rid of De Boer mid-season. Semi-retired like Hodgson. Yeah, I mean, Hodgson is kind of semi-retired in a way. Well, his last job in the Premier League was, West Brom 5 years ago? And then what else has he been doing? He had the England job, obviously, and I think he'd been doing like TV work or advisory down in Australia or something like that. So he hasn't exactly been very busy, has he, in the world of football? The problem is Palace, they need someone to steady the ship. Of course, Sam Allardyce is out of work at the moment. I don't think he wants it though, from what he's saying, on TV and stuff. So there aren't many other options. And Palace are sort of left with Hodgson, someone who's from Croydon, probably front of the queue because he's from Croydon. That's kind of his default now. And and I guess it's seen as like a safe pair of hands. But let's see. Phil Walsh, Hader mate, says Hodgson took Fulham to the Europa League final. He helped establish West Brom in the Prem as continental experience managing abroad. That's true. Certainly not the clown that the media portray him to be. Kiss. Thanks for the kiss, mate. I appreciate that because, I'm having a bit of a tough day. It's a very busy day at work. In fact, it was my day off and I had to come into work and then do loads of Palace reaction and stuff. So thanks, man. Thanks that you're thinking of me. Appreciate it. To be fair, if we're looking at positives, West Brom and Fulham are similar clubs to Palace, similar size, and he did do well at them. I mean, that was a while ago, but if you're looking for the positives, you could say that he did do well there, and maybe he's a sort of manager that thrives in smaller clubs like that. Went to Liverpool and struggled. Maybe he needs to be at a club like West Brom, like Palace, like Fulham. Maybe that suits him better. So I'm still not feeling very excited about it, but here we go. Richard Luke Dix says, deja vu, only at Palace. It is deja vu. How many managers is that now in the last few seasons? I mean, Pardew went in December. So since the start of last season, we've had Pardew, Allardyce, De Boer. So we're going to have 4 managers in less than a year. That's pretty bad, isn't it? If there were other teams doing that, we'd be laughing at them. I mean, we laugh at Watford, don't we, for changing their manager every year, but they've been more stable than we have. Darren Chandler says, Palace have a style and a way to play, and we've played for as long as I can remember. Shame Dyche probably won't take it now, as it should have been number 1 choice in the summer. Yeah, I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but looking back now, you would say, yeah, Dyche. No one would have been that excited, but we'd all be probably doing okay now. We'd have won a couple of games. We'd have beaten Burnley, definitely. And we'd be mid-table. And it wouldn't be exciting, but we'd all be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. We'd have a very dull season, probably. We wouldn't have signed Sacco, maybe. We wouldn't have signed Gyro, obviously. Probably wouldn't have signed Loftus-Cheek and Fossey Munster, but we'd have probably signed a couple of journeyman, dependable players. And, we'd be doing okay. And maybe that's what Palace need. A bit of a boring season where things are just sort of muddle along, but we don't have this drama that we seem to have every season at Palace. Daniel Opoku says, it's such a shame, to be honest. I guess the more pragmatic, yet again, approach is needed. Yeah, I mean, like Darren says there, we have one way of playing, don't we? We have a way of playing, and we're good at it, and our squad suits it. It would be nice, wouldn't it? The club and Steve Parish keep talking about progressing, and that would be really nice to do that and play a bit more sexy. But it's been so obvious in the last few weeks with De Boer there that we don't have the players to do that at the moment. We just don't have the squad to do it. So you might as well play to the strengths of your squad. That's what Allardyce did, and it worked really well. So maybe that's just what we do. Maybe we just need to know our limits a bit. And just not kind of walk before we can run before we can walk, as it were. Right, Michael Dennis Middleton says, on the good news front, Wolf is playing again, and Papa played 90 minutes, and Mama had a half of football. For the under-23s, that was today, wasn't it? That is good. And obviously, De Boer will argue, if he had Wilf for the last few weeks, and had Mama, maybe a fit Mama, and wasn't without Loftus-Cheek, then results might have been different. And in fact, they definitely would. We would have got something at Burnley if we had Wilf and Mama and Loftus-Cheek, guaranteed, because we played really well. In fact, actually, I was there, and I think that was our best performance under De Boer. Which I think makes this sacking even a bit more bizarre, because we actually played really well, and you could see that they were mixing up the play, playing it long, playing it short. They had 23 shots on goal to Burnley's 4. You could actually see that there was a bit of progress in the way they were playing. There was a bit of purpose, and I understand that Parish was kind of damned if he did, damned if he didn't, because if he kept De Boer and De Boer kept losing, then we were in worse position, especially as we have to beat Southampton next week with Chelsea, Man City and United coming up. We just have to win that game. But then if he sacks him now, it's a rash decision, according to people. So he was kind of on a no-win basis, really, although I still personally think I would have given him more time. I would have given him even after the City, Chelsea, United. Even if we had no points after those games, you can still save yourself in the Premier League. Certainly this season, because There's some bad teams down there. And I just think it looks bad. It looks really bad. It looks bad to any other manager coming in. Any other manager now taking the job after 4 managers in a year is going to be saying, there's something wrong with this club. And after we keep getting rid of so many managers so often, you do have to kind of ask, is there something wrong at the club? Is there something wrong behind the scenes or in the hierarchy? Because normal clubs where things are all okay don't do that. Lebo says, why have you drawn on my lampshade? I'm not drawn on it. It's a local artist design here in Buckinghamshire, and so it actually cost quite a lot of money. Wasn't that much. Daniel Oakins, the players knew he had already gone. What you mean yesterday? I don't believe that. I think they played really well. They seemed up for it. They had a lot of chances, and they should have scored. Scott Dan should have scored at the end as an absolute sitter. I could have scored that. And Lee McBride will tell you, I'm not very good at heading. Never was very good at heading. But even I would have nodded that one in at the last minute. Peter Sansbury says, Roy's previous win ratio is actually pretty good. Okay, I didn't know that. I might Google it, actually, as we're talking. I didn't know that, but that's promising. But, you don't know until he's at your club, because different managers thrive in different scenarios. Michael Dennis Middleton says, I hear that they already made their mind up before the Burnley game. Why not sack him before the Burnley game? If that's the case, because would that have looked worse after 3 games? Maybe that would look worse. I don't know. We seem to have got ourselves into this very sticky situation where no decision was going to be the right decision. Whatever we did as a club was probably going to look bad. Whether we stuck with him long term, unless he turned it around, or got rid of him now. So difficult. Carl Mortimer, didn't Rob say the investors were at the game? I don't know. I don't listen to Rob very often, to be honest, mate. I sort of tune out when he's talking, so I have no idea. But I think I did see on Sky that the investors, the American investors, Blitzer and Harris, were at the game. But to be honest, we know they're not massive football fans, but anyone that watching that game can see that Palace played really well. So if they were there looking for reassurance in the Boer system, I personally, if I was an investor, would have been reassured by that. But they made the decision. Stan Muzzle says, has Parish reached his limit at Palace? I don't know what you mean by limit, because, how do you gauge a chairman? On the money he's got? And he's got quite a lot, clearly. But on his manager turnover? Yeah, I mean, it's not right. On the success, well, the club have been in the top flight for 5 seasons, which they've never done. So that makes him the most successful chairman in our history. So it's tough to say. I don't know. I think maybe we just need the right manager for Parish, in the same way that when we had Simon Jordan, Neil Warnock was the first manager that came in that was the right manager for him. And that's when things felt most settled. And Parish hasn't found that man yet. Or maybe he did. Maybe he did with Allardyce, or he did with Pulis, and then he was let down by those guys. But I think we're looking for the right balance. And at the moment, we don't have it. Well, we haven't got a manager, so obviously we don't have it. But De Boer definitely wasn't the right balance. Do I think Chung Yong Lee lost De Boer's job? No. There were plenty of players at fault on Sunday, not just Chungy. That was bad, obviously. It was really, really bad. Really bad. But it wasn't just Chungy, no. Lewis King, unfortunately, for the first time in recent years, I'm actually looking at our team sheet, and when you match it up against lower clubs, there's not much in it. I disagree. We've got a good team. We've got some good players, but we're just, at times out there, in previous games, the Huddersfield game and first half against Swansea, they looked shell-shocked. They didn't know what they were doing. But that is a good team in there. It's, arguably it's as good, if not better. Well, it's basically the same team as Sam had, with a couple of with Loftus-Cheek and Fossey Mensah, who are good players. So, it's a better squad. It should be doing better. Should be doing a lot better. Phil says, I bumped into Sammy Lee at London Bridge today. He found out this morning, like everyone else, 100% of the players didn't know Frank de Boer was going while playing at Burnley. Well, there you go. Good. I mean, they played like they were playing to try and, I think, keep him his job. But it wasn't to be. Tim Sherwood, says Darren Whitmore. Nope. Next. Do all the backroom staff go too? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. You'd imagine Sammy Lee will stay, but Orlando Trustful and the other guy, whose name I've forgotten, Shoemaker. No, what was his name? I can't remember. You'd imagine they'll go, probably. Stan Muzzle, by limit. Oh, this is the Parish thing. By limit, I mean, do you think that until we get some real investment and improve the infrastructure, it'll always be like this? Maybe. The investment is a good point, a really good point. Because surely he would have been promised money in the transfer window. Although Parish has been saying all summer that there isn't going to be the money there was in January. But you can't ask a manager to come in and change the way we play and bring a whole new revolution or evolution, whatever it was, without backing him. Surely more than he did in the transfer window. So keep Sammy Lee. Yeah, Deitch, says Alan Dutfield. Yeah, Alan, I like Sean Deitch. I like him a lot. I went to the presser I was at the game, went to the presser afterwards on Saturday, and Deitch is so honest. He said Palace were better, which we were. He praised Palace. I like him. He's down to earth. He's honest. He knows his limits. He knows what he is. He knows what he's got in a squad. He's like a young Sam Allardyce. And I say that as a compliment. I know it doesn't sound like one, but I say that as a compliment. Sol Shoemaker. Is that his name? I don't even know if that's a joke or not. It could be his name. I have no idea. Sammy Lee worked with Hodgson previously. Yeah, at England and at Liverpool. And it didn't do brilliant either, did they? Really. But who knows? Yeah, Ray Lewington coming back. Yeah. Is it 1996 all of a sudden? I don't know. But yeah, Ray Lewington was a good coach at Palace. And I think was manager for a couple of games, wasn't he? Dean Holmes, I think it's as much down to stuff behind the scenes as what happens on the pitch. I agree. Rumours of falling out with Luca, which would back up him being dropped. Not getting the players he wanted in the transfer window. I think we all agree that happened. And there's rumours that I say rumours, it was in Neil Ashton's piece in a certain newspaper that I'm not going to say today, that De Boer was really good in training. Sort of Glenn Hoddle style, was like banging it in top bins all the time, and the players were getting annoyed by it. Saw it as arrogant, And I don't really buy that. If your manager's good, then you want to try and learn from him, don't you? Surely, even if he's a good player. Or just take him out or something in training. I don't know. But that's apparently one of the rumours as to why he lost the dressing room. Ryan Corbett, shocking letting him go after 4 games. It's not great, is it, Ryan? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the club from the outside in. That's the crucial thing. All the pundits today are saying what a bad decision it is. Even though we know it's a bit more nuanced, As I said earlier, Parish was kind of down if he did, down if he didn't, but it doesn't look good. Alan Dutfield, hopefully whoever comes in restores confidence and starts playing the players in correct positions. Confidence is a big one. And Mama Sakho hopefully is going to bring a lot of confidence to Palace as well. I think he's going to be really key in just galvanising the dressing room like he did under Allardyce. And in fact, Allardyce said during the summer that when Mama came in, I didn't have to coach as much because Mama Sakho galvanised that dressing room. So hopefully. Michael Prendergast, how many times have you heard the Benteke taking corners joke today? A lot. Michael Middleton, Luca had a nightmare under Frank de Boer playing a centre-back. I thought it was okay as centre-back. His worst performance was in midfield against Huddersfield. So I like Luca. I want to see him back, and I want to see him back to his best. Gareth Jones, there has to be more than sacking him. There has to be more to this sacking than just losing 4 games. More behind the scenes. Yeah, I think we can all agree that there's something happened behind the scenes. We don't know what, but something was not right, was it? Lebo says the club are posting regular snippets on the social media of De Boer's skills and when he was appointed. Yeah, that's true. A couple of him banging it top bins. It does look good, doesn't it, to the fans? But, clearly to the players it wasn't that great. Although, as I said, if it was me, I wouldn't mind if I was a player. But I'm not. That's why I'm doing this video and not on the training ground right now. Hodgson's career stats. Here we go from Peter Sainsbury. Played 586. God, that's a lot. Won 270. Lost 146. Oh, drawn 146. Lost 170. Win ratio 46.1%. That's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, some of those teams are like 3rd division Swedish teams, which I think I could manage, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. And he's not a terrible appointment. He's not the sexiest, but he's not the worst. We could do a lot worse. And the thing is, guys, I'm going to round off with this. I think we're going to be okay this season. Like, we're going to stay up. Even with Frank, I think we probably would have stayed up. And that's almost the worst thing because despite all of this, we're going to stay up and we're going to be okay. But it feels like we're going back to the same old thing. It doesn't feel like it's going to be progress. We're back at the firefighting stage. And we need to get away from the firefighting and start rebuilding our house, don't we? And that's the worst thing. We're going to be, hopefully stay up, I think we will, 6 seasons in the Premier League and we'll be back in the same place we have been at the start of the last 3 or 4 seasons. So there we go. Anyway, thanks for watching this Facebook Live reaction to Frank de Boer being sacked and Hodgson potentially coming in. He's apparently going to be appointed tomorrow on Tuesday. No, today's Tuesday. No, Tuesday. Oh, God, it's been a long 48 hours. And when he does, I'll be back with reaction with you guys here on Facebook Live. Don't forget to keep checking out Palace FYP on Facebook. God, I need a break. And on YouTube, FYP TV, because there's more reaction over there as well. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. I'm going to go and just step away from my laptop. See you later, guys.